The world has always been captivated by the myth of the born leader. The idea that some people are naturally destined to stand at the forefront, to command, to inspire, as if leadership were a genetic gift, encoded deep within the fibers of their being, waiting to be discovered and unleashed. But reality has a different story, a story forged in the fires of struggle, shaped by relentless effort, and sculpted by the countless moments of failure that test the very core of a person's resolve. True leadership is not a title granted at birth. It is not a crown that magically falls into someone's lap. It is a path that must be walked with unwavering determination, a journey that demands the breaking of limits, the shattering of comfort, and the constant confrontation with fear, doubt, and exhaustion. Every person who has risen to the heights of leadership has done so through countless hours of preparation, through the meticulous cultivation of discipline, through the mastery of self, and the patience to endure pain that most would flee from, because the essence of leadership is not charisma alone. It is the relentless commitment to growth, to learning, to evolving in ways that challenge the very essence of one's own identity. Leadership is born in the crucible of experience, in the countless choices made when no one is watching, in the moments of quiet persistence, when the world expects surrender, in the ability to shoulder responsibility when everything within screams to escape. It is built by those who refuse to settle for mediocrity, who rise each time they fall, who transform their weaknesses into strengths, their doubts into strategies, their failures into lessons so powerful that they become the foundation upon which others will one day stand. The true leader does not seek recognition. They seek mastery of themselves, an understanding of the people they serve, a vision so compelling that it becomes a force that others cannot ignore. Because leadership is influence harnessed with integrity, courage, and unwavering resolve, and that influence is crafted, not inherited, developed through sweat, pain, reflection, and repetition. Every challenge faced, every setback endured, every night spent questioning one's own worth, every early morning waking with a sense of purpose, every deliberate act of courage compounds into the invisible architecture of leadership, a structure that cannot be seen in a single moment, but can be felt in every decision, every strategy, every interaction that moves the world forward. The stories of history are littered with examples of ordinary individuals who became extraordinary leaders, not because they were born different, but because they refused to remain ordinary, because they recognized that talent without discipline is a candle flickering in the wind, and that consistency, resilience, and relentless pursuit of excellence are the elements that forge the kind of leadership that inspires nations, shapes movements, and changes the trajectory of humanity. Leadership is the accumulation of daily victories over laziness, over fear, over distraction, over the seductive pull of comfort. And it is in that accumulation that greatness is born, slowly, quietly, deliberately, as the person who once doubted themselves becomes the person who others trust, follow, and believe in, not because of innate superiority, but because of the sheer magnitude of their commitment to becoming more than they were yesterday, every single day. In the silence of preparation, in the intensity of effort, in the courage to fail and try again, the leader is made, sculpted by time, trial, and unyielding purpose, because the world does not need the gifted, it needs the disciplined, the resilient, the relentless, and those who understand that leadership is earned one choice at a time, in the moments when no one else is watching, when the decision to persist becomes the defining factor between mediocrity and impact. And in that persistence, the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary, and a leader is born not in the womb, but in the battlefield of life itself. Leadership is not a destination. It is a relentless journey, an unending process of growth, challenge, and self-discovery that tests every fiber of a person's being. And it is forged in the crucible of adversity, where comfort is stripped away and the raw essence of character is exposed for all to see. Every leader begins as someone ordinary, someone who faces the same doubts, fears, and limitations as everyone else. Yet the difference lies not in their circumstances, but in their response to them. They understand that talent alone is powerless without the discipline to harness it, without the persistence to endure when every instinct cries out to surrender, and without the courage to step forward when the path is uncertain and the stakes are impossibly high. True leaders embrace pain as a teacher, struggle as a sculptor, and failure as a mentor, recognizing that each moment of discomfort, each obstacle, each mistake is not a punishment, but a necessary element in the alchemy of greatness, transforming raw potential into tangible, unstoppable influence. They cultivate habits that others avoid. Wake before the world demands it, study when others sleep, and work when others rest, because they know that the ordinary path leads to ordinary outcomes, and that leadership requires the extraordinary investment of time, energy, and unshakable focus. The journey to leadership is paved with relentless self-examination, where one must confront their weaknesses with brutal honesty, acknowledge their fears without flinching, and dismantle every excuse that might keep them small, powerless, or complacent, because leadership is not granted to those who remain stagnant. It is earned by those willing to do the work that no one else will, to persist when the world doubts them, and to rise even when their body, mind, and spirit demand retreat. Every decision, every habit, every action that builds resilience compounds over time, creating an invisible force of character that draws others naturally into trust, respect, and admiration. For people do not follow perfection, they follow relentless courage, unwavering conviction, and the demonstration of a spirit that refuses to be broken, a spirit forged in the fires of deliberate effort. Leadership demands sacrifice, the willingness to endure loneliness, to embrace discomfort, to walk a path that is often misunderstood and undervalued, because the easy route is the path of followers, and the world does not need more spectators. It needs those willing to shoulder responsibility, confront uncertainty, and act decisively when indecision paralyzes the masses. It is in this relentless pursuit that leaders are made, not in the moments of glory, but in the quiet, grueling, unseen hours when no one applauds, when failure is an ever-present companion, and when the temptation to quit is strongest, yet the leader persists, because they understand that the ultimate power lies not in being born special, but in deliberately becoming exceptional through repeated, intentional effort. Every challenge they face becomes a mirror reflecting their potential, every setback a lesson demanding adaptation, and every triumph a testament to the truth that greatness is a habit, a mindset, and a lifestyle cultivated with deliberate, disciplined, and unyielding focus. Leadership is the art of converting adversity into advantage, fear into fuel, and struggle into strategy. And those who understand this truth do not wait for destiny to crown them. They create their own destiny, day after day, choice after choice, moment after moment, proving that the essence of leadership is not inherited, but deliberately, relentlessly, and courageously built from the inside out, transforming ordinary individuals into extraordinary forces capable of inspiring nations, shaping movements, and leaving a legacy that endures far beyond the reach of time. Leadership is not the product of luck, inheritance, or circumstance. It is the result of relentless, conscious choice, a daily commitment to rise above mediocrity and push beyond limits that would crush the average individual. Because those who become leaders understand that greatness is never given, it is seized, wrested from the chaos of life, and carved out with the raw tools of perseverance, courage, and unyielding self-discipline. Every leader's journey begins with a decision to reject the comfortable path, to embrace responsibility when it is easier to blame, to speak truth when silence would be safer, and to act decisively when hesitation is the norm. Because the essence of leadership is action in the presence of uncertainty, vision in the face of doubt, and strength when weakness tempts surrender. They endure sleepless nights, grueling challenges, and moments of profound isolation, not because they enjoy suffering, but because they recognize that the crucible of struggle refines character and forges the steel necessary to lead others effectively. And every scar, every moment of pain, every time they fought back, when everything in them screamed to quit, becomes an invisible badge of resilience, a testament to the power of disciplined effort. Leadership is built on the foundation of self-mastery, the ability to govern one's thoughts, emotions, and actions with relentless precision, to transform fear into fuel, frustration into focus, and setbacks into stepping stones, because influence over others is only as strong as the mastery one has over oneself. The leader's mind is a battlefield, constantly tested by distractions, temptations, and internal doubts, yet they rise above, training the mind with the same intensity that an athlete trains the body, knowing that clarity, decisiveness, and unwavering conviction are the currencies of leadership, and without them, vision remains a dream, ambition remains a whisper, and potential remains unrealized. Leadership demands consistency in the face of adversity, the ability to show up every day, regardless of mood, circumstance, or recognition, because the small, seemingly invisible actions compound over time into monumental impact, shaping outcomes that no single moment of brilliance could achieve alone. And those who endure this process understand that patience, persistence, and principle are far more valuable than fleeting talent or inherited advantage. True leaders are relentless learners, constantly absorbing knowledge, reflecting on mistakes, and refining strategies, because every failure holds a lesson, every criticism holds insight, and every challenge holds an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. And they embrace these lessons not passively, but actively, turning each experience into a tool for shaping themselves and guiding others. Leadership is cultivated through courage in the face of fear, through sacrifice when comfort tempts, through perseverance when hope fades, and through the unwavering belief that the work done in obscurity, the discipline practiced when no one is watching, and the strength built through repeated adversity will one day manifest in influence, respect, and impact. Because leaders are not born. They are sculpted in the furnace of struggle, hammered into form by the relentless pursuit of excellence, and polished by the discipline to keep moving forward, no matter how heavy the weight or how dark the night. In the end, leadership is not the property of a chosen few. It is the reward for those willing to endure, to learn, to sacrifice, and to push themselves to heights they once thought impossible. And it is in this crucible of deliberate effort that ordinary individuals are transformed into extraordinary forces, capable of shaping destinies, inspiring others, and leaving a legacy that speaks not of birthright, but of choice, courage, and relentless, disciplined action. Leadership is the ability to move others through vision, action, and unwavering conviction. Yet that ability is never innate. It is painstakingly developed through years of relentless effort, self-reflection, and the courage to stand alone when the world resists change. Every leader faces moments when doubt gnaws at the edges of their resolve, when obstacles loom like insurmountable walls, when the weight of responsibility threatens to crush the spirit. And yet it is precisely in these moments that leadership is forged. Because those who are born to lead in the mythological sense may falter under pressure, but those who are made leaders learn to thrive in it, to convert fear into fuel, uncertainty into clarity, and struggle into strategy. The process is brutal, demanding, and merciless because the world does not reward the timid or the unprepared. It rewards the relentless, those who understand that influence is not granted, but earned, and that true authority comes from the consistent demonstration of competence, courage, and integrity. Leaders are made through sacrifice, willingly surrendering comfort, leisure, and sometimes relationships to the pursuit of mastery, because they know that mediocrity is the enemy of impact, and that every choice to push further, to endure more, and to act decisively compounds into the foundation of lasting influence. The journey is littered with failure, humiliation, and moments when it feels impossible to continue, yet these are the crucibles in which resilience, character, and true leadership are formed, for only by confronting one's own limitations can a person learn to transcend them and inspire others to do the same. Leaders understand the gravity of their role, that every action sets an example, every word carries weight, and every decision shapes outcomes far beyond themselves, and it is this awareness, tempered with humility and sharpened by discipline, that distinguishes those who lead effectively from those who merely occupy positions of authority. Influence, respect, and the ability to guide others are not gifts bestowed at birth. They are the results of deliberate, repeated, and sometimes painful practice of showing up when others do not, of taking responsibility when others evade, and of building trust through integrity and relentless effort. Leadership demands vision, the ability to see beyond the present moment, to anticipate challenges, to understand people, and to create strategies that transform obstacles into opportunities. And this vision is cultivated over years of study, experience, reflection, and relentless curiosity. For a leader who cannot see clearly cannot inspire or guide effectively. It is the consistent demonstration of courage in adversity, persistence in the face of setbacks, and clarity of purpose in moments of chaos that convinces others to follow. And every such act strengthens the leader, shapes their character, and builds the credibility that true leadership requires. Those who are made leaders embrace responsibility, not as a burden, but as an opportunity, understanding that the weight of influence is not a curse, but a privilege, and that the trials they endure are the same trials that prepare them to lift others, to create change, and to leave a mark that outlasts time itself. Leadership is therefore a process of transformation, an alchemy of effort, sacrifice, and intentional growth, where ordinary people rise above fear, complacency, and doubt to become beacons of courage, vision, and discipline, demonstrating to the world that the power to lead is not inherited. It is earned, one courageous choice, one relentless effort, and one act of integrity at a time, until the individual has forged not only themselves, but also a path that others can follow. Leadership is not measured by the title one holds, the position one occupies, or the recognition one receives. It is measured by the ability to create impact, to inspire others to rise above their limitations, and to leave a mark that endures beyond fleeting moments of fame. Those who are made leaders understand that influence is cultivated through deliberate action, unwavering consistency, and the courage to act when others hesitate, and that the foundation of lasting leadership is built in the unseen hours of preparation, the moments of sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit of excellence that no one applauds. Every decision a leader makes, every obstacle they overcome, every failure they endure becomes part of the architecture of influence, because true leadership is less about authority and more about the capacity to shape outcomes, to guide, to inspire, and to serve as a model of resilience, discipline, and integrity. They embrace the weight of responsibility, knowing that every choice carries consequences, that every action resonates with those who follow, and that the credibility of a leader is measured not by what they say, but by what they do consistently. especially when it is difficult, uncomfortable, or inconvenient. Leaders are made in the fires of adversity, in moments when surrender seems easier, and in the relentless repetition of habits that build character, because greatness is not a momentary burst of brilliance. It is a lifestyle, a continuous practice of courage, focus, and unwavering commitment to improvement. They understand that mistakes are inevitable, that setbacks are unavoidable, and that the path to influence is paved with struggle. Yet they transform these obstacles into opportunities for growth, learning, and the development of wisdom. And in doing so, they cultivate not only their own strength, but also the capacity to uplift those around them. Leadership requires vision, the ability to see beyond the immediate, to anticipate challenges, and to inspire belief in others, even when the path is uncertain. But vision alone is not enough. It must be accompanied by action, perseverance, and the willingness to bear the burden of responsibility when failure is a constant possibility. Leaders are defined not by their comfort, but by their ability to thrive under pressure, to make difficult decisions with clarity and conviction, and to inspire trust and loyalty through consistent demonstration of competence, integrity, and resilience. Because followers do not emulate perfection, they emulate courage, determination, and the refusal to quit. They accept that the journey of leadership is never complete, that the pursuit of mastery, influence, and impact is a lifelong endeavor, and that the work done today compounds into the legacy that will shape generations, proving that leadership is not a matter of birthright, but of deliberate, persistent effort. Leadership is an ongoing act of creation, a daily commitment to become better than yesterday, to refine one's mind, character, and actions, and to transform ordinary potential into extraordinary influence, because those who are made leaders understand that the world does not need more spectators. It needs those willing to rise, endure, and lead with purpose, courage, and relentless discipline, leaving a legacy that inspires others to follow, to strive, and to believe that greatness is something earned, not given, something built one choice, one effort, and one act of courage at a time. And in that pursuit, they embody the ultimate truth that leaders are made, not born. The journey of leadership is the most demanding, exhilarating, and transformative path a human being can undertake, for it tests every limit, challenges every fear, and demands the relentless pursuit of excellence in ways that few are willing to endure. And yet it is precisely this path that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the spectators from the architects of destiny, and the timid from the courageous. Leaders are forged in the furnace of experience, hammered by adversity, tempered by discipline, and polished through reflection, learning, and the repeated choice to rise stronger after every setback. For it is only through struggle that the raw material of potential is transformed into the force of influence capable of moving mountains, inspiring nations, and shaping the future. Every challenge faced, every failure survived, every sacrifice made becomes a brick in the foundation of leadership, because greatness is not inherited. It is constructed through courage, resilience, and an unyielding commitment to growth. And those who embrace this process understand that the impact they create is directly proportional to the effort they invest, the discipline they maintain, and the consistency with which they act when the world does not notice. Leaders are made not by chance, but by choice, by the daily decision to confront fear, push past comfort, and take responsibility for outcomes beyond themselves. And in this deliberate transformation, ordinary individuals evolve into beacons of inspiration, vision, and integrity, capable of motivating others to rise above mediocrity and believe in the impossible. The essence of leadership lies not in being born special, but in choosing to become exceptional, in cultivating habits that strengthen the mind and character, in embracing discomfort as a teacher, and in committing relentlessly to a path of growth, action, and disciplined excellence. Because those who are made leaders understand that every small effort compounds into monumental influence, and that the work done in obscurity ultimately determines the legacy left in the light of history. So remember, no matter where you start, no matter the doubts, the obstacles, or the failures you encounter, leadership is within your reach, waiting for you to earn it through courage, discipline, and relentless pursuit of growth. And the world does not need people who are merely born. It needs people who are made, molded, and proven through action. If you're ready to embrace your journey and transform your potential into unstoppable leadership, welcome to our channel, where we bring you the most powerful motivation, life-changing strategies, and lessons from the greatest minds and leaders of our time. Every day, we dive deep into discipline, self-mastery, struggle, and success to help you unlock your true potential. And if you're ready to rise above mediocrity and join a community committed to relentless growth and achievement, make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and be part of this journey of transformation, because your future as a leader is not determined by birth. It is determined by the choices you make starting today.